first trip to Poland in Krakow. The room we booked was a very basic room in the Inks, I'm not sure how you pronounce the hotel itself, but very basic room, very comfortable, very clean. We had maids come in almost every day if we put the little tag out on the door. The room itself was pretty basic, comfortable enough. Views outside the window were okay, down into the main street as we were way up on the top floor. Okay, so we landed in Poland. We are now in Krakow. Quickest and easiest journey I've ever made to a destination. Turned up at Liverpool John Lennon Airport, dead easy, straight through for baggage, straight through security, and now we are now in Krakow. We've booked into the hotel, the Inks Design Hotel. I'll show you a little bit more about that later. Well, that was a bedroom you saw earlier, and we're now heading into town. So we're heading into town to have a look and find a nice little Irish bar that we believe is somewhere along here, but we don't know where we're going. So literally, we've just got here, and we're just having a look around. So after our pint of Guinness, we decided to have a wander around the main town down in the Jewish quarter. We decided to leave the main town for another day. So here we were wandering through the back streets of our hotel. Because we'd heard there was a lovely place where you can go and eat these big long pizza dishes. So we thought we'd go and find that. And yes, we found it. These long pizza sandwiches were cheap as chips, and they were lovely. You see me tucking into one now. We all bought one between us because one each would have been way too much. And we were determined to try as much of the food and the drink as we could when we were in Poland at the time. And there was also lots of other parts of the market we could look at as well as we wandered around at night time. Right, I've seen this place on TV loads. Other YouTubers doing vlogs on Krakow, and this is a fantastic little market area, right around the corner from the Inks hotel. So it's bang on for where we are. And we're just looking at kebabs and what you've just seen us eating just now. That was blooming gorgeous. 20 zloty, which I have no idea what that is in English money. I'm sure I'll work it out before the end of the video. But yeah, it was really, really nice. And there's loads of little windows for loads and loads of different types of food. The hotel was very clean, affordable, and seemed really well looked after. The staff on reception were really helpful when we needed anything. I must admit, we went down for breakfast on the first morning, and I like my full English breakfast. And I know we're in Poland, but I like to have at least some bacon and eggs at least. So only eggs there were scrambled eggs and no bacon. But the third and fourth day, we did have bacon and we did have eggs still. Transport right outside your front door. As soon as you walk out, you've got all the tram system that runs almost 24 hours a day. I'm sure in the middle of the night, I heard the trams running up and down the main road. So today we're at the Salt Mines. No idea what this trip is going to be like. Big underground, 800 steps to get to the bottom, and I'll try to get as much video as I can inside the salt mines itself. So let's go get to the salt mines. So we're going to wait till 12 o'clock before we can go down into the salt mine itself. So a little bit of background of how we got here. We pre-booked our tickets before we came to Poland, and I can't remember who it was, but I'll leave the link in the description below so you can pick up on that yourselves. We're going in at 12 o'clock, so the bus picked us up from the Inks Hotel at, should have been 10:55, but it was a bit early. It was more like 20 to 11. And it took us half an hour, 30 minutes to get from the hotel to here. So we've now got to just sort of hang around a little bit and wait for our time slot, which is at 12 o'clock. Now, little background of this place is you've got 800 plus steps to go down into the mine itself, and then you get a lift back up. Now, the big issue I've got at the moment is I've got real dodgy knees, so I'm hoping I make it to the bottom of the, say, 800 steps to get to the bottom of the mine itself. I did bring some straps, some knee straps, but I forgot to put them on this morning, so we didn't realise until we got to the place. So I'll let you know how the trip down the stairs go if you've got dodgy knees like me, and if I make it back up again. So all I've got to do now, hang around for 10 minutes, so then go down the mine. Now, this first big descent seemed to go on forever and ever and ever, just round and round in circles, all the way down to one of the lowest points of the mine. But once you reach it, some of the stuff you see inside is fantastic. They've tried to recreate what it was like down inside the mines. Now, if you're a little bit claustrophobic, I'd double think about going down into the mines, because in places it was very tall, but in a lot of other places it was very small and to get through. A lot of the statues that you see in these halls are made from the miners that were down there. They had to create their own place to live because they spent so much time working down there that they made their own places of worship and to eat and to drink and to sleep. And way down on the 130 metre mark, there's even a shop where you can go and have a look at some of the items you can buy and buy some gifts and even get yourself a coffee. Right, very early morning this morning. Woke up about 3:45. We'd come to Auschwitz and the other place, can't remember what the place is called. Anyway, 3:45 got up this morning because the queues are massive through Easter because of it being a bank holiday, and this Auschwitz isn't open on the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we're here on the bank holiday. No, we're here on the Tuesday. We were at the Salt Mine yesterday, which was bank holiday Monday. We're here on the Tuesday. So if you are ever thinking about coming to Poland and thinking about doing Auschwitz, be very aware of the queues, because our bus picked us up at 5 to 4 this morning, and the time is now 6:30 a.m. It took us about an hour and a half to get here, and the queue for Auschwitz itself, and just while we're waiting for the doors to open, is massive. They reckon we've got about another 2 or 3 hour queuing time. And you can see the queue goes all the way around the back of the building now. Coaches are turning up. There is hundreds and hundreds of people here trying to queue, waiting to get in. And there's more people here queuing now. So yeah, so I can't do much filming in Auschwitz, unfortunately, because of the restrictions in filming. I didn't want to film in there anyway, to be honest, out of respect. So I'll let you know how it's done when I come out of the other side, if I make it across this road without getting knocked over. Okay, so change of plan. Auschwitz isn't first, Birkenau is first, because we've got to wait until 11:30 before we can use our tickets to get into the Auschwitz as a guided tour. So as a group, we've all decided to come to Birkenau first, and then we go back to Auschwitz to do the trip we planned to do. Otherwise we'll be sitting around for like 3 hours. So this is quite interesting to anybody else who's wanting to come to Poland and come to visit Auschwitz or Birkenau. Yeah, lots of standing around, lots of waiting, very early mornings, but then again. So we'll go into Birkenau. I won't be doing any filming in there, as I said earlier on, and then we'll go back to Auschwitz later. So we get on with the day. Okay, so finished about Birkenau and Auschwitz. Yeah, mind-blowing stuff. You've got to see it to believe it. A little upsetting, but so we've now done the day. It is a long day. If you're coming to here to spend the day, it's a really long day. Especially if they change your times. Whenever you book something, they could change your times at the last moment. Before you know it, your time has changed. We were here at 4 AM. Picked up at 4 AM instead of getting here for 8. So it's been a really long day on our feet. We're just waiting now for the driver, and then we're going to start heading back into Krakow. So if I think of anything else, I'll put it on the end of this video for any more thoughts I can think of. So, back to Krakow. So if you ever decide to have one of those ice creams from the Chimney Bakery, make sure you're very hungry. Make sure it's not just a tea time. Make sure you're not just about to eat, because you won't be eating. They are very filling, very yummy. And I had the strawberry one. So today we walked to the top of the hill where the castle is. So I'm going to see if we can get loads of shots from around the castle, around the battlements, and people sneezing in the background. What's going on there? So my trip to Poland, right, let's talk about Poland. Dead easy getty, a 2.5 hour flight from Liverpool airport, straight in through check-in. We were there 3 hours before because we had to get through security, which they said was a bit of a problem. Wasn't a problem at all. I think we were first to the check-in desk. Bags were taken off us, dead efficient by Ryanair. Straight into the hold, straight into security, straight through security, straight through an in-flight time, 2.5 hours to here. When we got out of the other end of the flight, when we got to Poland, when we got to Krakow, we decided to use an app called Bolt, which is like Uber, but you can pay cash. So you check up a Bolt. The one we ordered was 8 minutes away, so we stood outside the airport for 8 minutes with the luggage, and we had to wait for the Bolt to come. And while I was waiting, I went to see a normal taxi and said to him, how much to the INX Design Hotel? And he quoted me 120 lev, where it was costing us 37 to use a Bolt. So it was a lot cheaper to use a Bolt than to just jump in a taxi and get there. But they're all over the place. Taxis all over the place. Takes around sort of 35-ish minutes to get from the airport to Krakow, or to our hotel, say 25 minutes in the middle of Krakow itself. In and around Krakow, brilliant, dead safe, daytime, nighttime. We wandered a lot through the day and through the night. Some lovely places to eat, some lovely places to drink. We didn't find any of the places to eat or drink to be bad. They were all good to excellent. Our trip to the Salt Mine, fantastic, very good, dead informative. It's not something you do every time you come here. 130 meters down we went. I showed you all the little slides and the little pictures we took and the videos of what we were doing when we were going down into the depths of the mine. Quick lift back out again. So I would definitely recommend you do the Salt Museum. Auschwitz, Auschwitz was another, again, big eye-opener. Sort of blows your mind a little bit to look at all the stories you get of what happened to the people in the camp, that the Nazis did, and you know, I would get quite choked up, to be honest, with that one. But I would definitely recommend that. However, when you book a time slot, I've spoken to lots and lots of people that have done this, and 90% of the people said that when they have booked in a slot, it gets changed up to 12 hours before your trip. So for example, we booked an 8 o'clock trip and we were told 18 hours before, we're going to pick you up at 4:55 because we're going to try to get you there, but you could be queuing till 11. Then we spoke to 2 people that were there, and they booked a 12 o'clock trip, guided trip around Auschwitz, and they were told as they were at the airport, when you turn up, we're going to be picking you up at 4:05 on the day you get there. So that wasn't ideal for them either. So Auschwitz, be aware that your times are going to get changed basically, and it could be early hours and you could be stood queuing for hours and hours if you want a guided tour. Krakow itself, yes, I would highly recommend anybody visiting Krakow. Some lovely places to eat, as you saw. We had some lovely restaurant stuff, lots of lovely street food, a couple of Irish bars. Can't help them, can you? Got to have a pint of Guinness when you're out. The people who were doing the guided tours, especially the one at Auschwitz, David, thank you very much, mate. You did a cracking job. Well done for you for getting up at 3 AM to pick us up at 4 AM to make sure we were at Auschwitz in time to get a ticket and to be able to get in. Overall, yes, I would definitely come back to Krakow. I would definitely come back to Poland, maybe visit a different part of Poland next time. But for me, yeah, Krakow, lovely little town, lovely city, lovely whatever it is, affordable, clean, safe. So thanks very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe, ding the bell for notifications, because these videos go out every time I'm away on holiday. I'll tell you all about it so you can decide yourself if you want to go. Thanks very much for watching.